Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. I'm Kauskan Peresami of Class 12 from PSBB Siruseri, and it's great honor to welcome all of you this evening on day 27 of PSBB Vidya Shakti, a tribute to the icon of culture, Dr. Mrs. YGP. Educating the mind without educating the heart is no education at all, said Aristotle. YGP ma'am sowed the seeds of education in every student and nurtured it with values. She was a great guru, an inspiration, and a noble soul.
Vidya Shakti, Medha Shakti, Kalashaya Shakti.
Vidya Shakti,
Men may come and men may go, but PHPB will go on forever.
For prayer, being Tuesday, let's begin today's program with an invocation to Lord Muruga. Reading was one of ma'am's favorite pastimes, and never did she fail to make reading a habit in her students. She believed it not only gave immense knowledge, but taught valuable life lessons. The effective library periods, reading clubs, the celebration of reading week, writing reviews, making novel book covers were just a few ways she achieved her purpose. Up next, we have a tribute from Apurva Narayan, Class 12 Siruseri, a classic anthology of titles to the voracious reader in YGP ma'am.
An ode to the torchbearer of knowledge and education, Dr. Mrs. YGP. She was a rainbow under the volcano when Pride and Prejudice were the Frankenstein amongst women. Her experiments with truth and her sense and sensibility led her on the path of awakening. She tread such a long journey with her chosen little women towards the treasure island of knowledge. Her pilgrim's progress was the beginning of spring for many. The time machine of her vision helped her strike a fine balance. While midnight's children awaited the rising sun, she braved the new world, the angels and demons of society, like a good soldier, and established 1,000 splendid suns, revealing great expectations for the future generation. The guide had led us to the ring of endless light. Thank you.
Catch them young is the mantra that our beloved YGP ma'am, the magical sculptor, strongly believed in. She was convinced that the mind of very young children is like a sponge and therefore the right time to imbibe values through activities. Watch the joyful display of color and festive spirit, a glimpse into how the tiny tots of PSVP learn about our culture and traditions effortlessly through celebrations.
Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Each day is a gift and must be cherished and celebrated. At PSBB, we have learned to nurture this thought from our beloved YGP ma'am. She also believed that values should be caught, not taught, and that we children of KG should turn every experience and opportunity to imbibe values. We would like to showcase some activities we do at our school which help us learn our tradition, culture and values from an early age. Thank you. Ganesh Chaturthi. Unity in diversity.
My name is Madhavi. I'm from Alapi. I speak Malayalam, but I'm just like you. My name is Nattuvar. I'm from Srinagar. I speak Kashmiri, but I'm just like you. My name is Shubhrata. I'm from Kolkata. I speak Bengali, but I'm just like you. My name is Rani Mai. I'm from Chennai. I speak Tamil, but I'm just like you.
Independence Day.
रही हूँ देश का सिपाही हूँ बोलो मेरे संग जय हिंद जय हिंद जय हिंद.
Janmashtami.
बारो कृष्ण कंकण करदल्ली
Navaratri. Christmas.
Dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh. O'er the fields we go, laughing all the way. The bells on bobtail ring, they make our spirits bright.
Pongalo Pongal. गांधी जयंती. वैष्णव जन तो तेने कहिए जे
पीड़ पराई
जाने रे. वैष्णव जन तो तेने कहिए जे पीड़ पराई. We believe that the best way to pay tribute to our dear YGP ma'am is to continue celebrating all occasions with the same fervor and practice the values imbibed which will mold us into good human beings proud of our culture and heritage. Thank you.
Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. This is humble yet heartful tribute to the multifaceted Dr. Mrs. YGP. Like a brilliantly cut diamond, she dazzled in all the facets of her life as an educationist, entrepreneur, art connoisseur, leader, and above all, as a human being. She made an indelible impression wherever she went. She never failed to awe all those around her with her ever-present passion and enthusiasm. We seek your blessings, ma'am, today and every day.
Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha. Together we pray to our beloved founder to get her blessings so as not to flounder. She'll for sure replenish us with robustness and resistance to fight against the pernicious pestilence. An epitome of unflinching determination, the stalwart spoke her mind, stood her ground, followed her heart. Perfectly evident through her counter question, "Do you know Tamil?" that she posed to the father of the nation. Rather than wise in why nots, she firmly believed, challenged the antiquated rule with intent she decried, broke the insurmountable gender barriers boldly, became the undaunted captain of PSBB solely. Her sublime devotion to Lord Krishna was unshakable. So was her supreme faith, the doctrine of the Daya Eka Sindhu taught. That propelled this septuagenarian to make it possible. Her doctoral thesis on Sri Ramanuja and his socio-religious thought. By whatever name she was known, as Jalak, Rashmi or Sumangali, a doyen in education or an art connoisseur, legendary, forever revered as a class apart is she. To inherit her lush legacy, how blessed are we?
On a personal note, let me share an anecdote. When this 92-year young woman arrived promptly and blessed the students of class 12 and asked, I quote, "Do they have Shakespeare?" "Yes, ma'am," I answered politely. Let me tell you, that's not all. At 2 in the afternoon, there was another call. Curious to know if in the exam there was any question about her favorite poet, the Bard of Avon. Such was her passion and vigor, very contagious. My meek attempt to express it in a few lines? How courageous! I ain't to be blamed. I apprised you of her contagious vigor, and here am I, quoting her treasured Shakespeare. Wise men never sit and wail their loss, but cheerily seek how to redress their harms. And now the time has come for the redressal, for which unto you I submit my humble and simple proposal. More things are wrought by prayer, often did she quote, accountability, integrity and responsibility in perpetuum did she promote. Hey my PSBB brethren, join me in my prayer. Let's breathe the fresh air all our way. With her divine blessings, keep every perilous pandemic at bay. My humble salutations to our beloved founder, Dr. Mrs. YGP.
Abhangs are songs filled with bhakti and devotion to Lord Vittal, the presiding deity of Pandapur. Saint Tukram's Abhang gives a profound insight into the sublime beauty of Vishnu and the bliss and ecstasy he experiences by being in his dhyana. Aberi Sriram kindles our souls with this beautiful rendition of an Abhang set to Ragam Pillu.
Namaskaram, Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha. My name is Savita Sriram, a Carnatic vocalist and Abhang Nama Sankirtanam artist, and definitely a proud mother of 2 PSBBNs. Going down the memory lane about 11 years ago, I happened to meet Mrs. YGP ma'am outside a Sabha hall. if I remember right, it was Brahmagana Sabha. After a concert which I performed, she had come to listen to that and a couple of other concerts. And then she was talking to me about the music and that she enjoyed the concert. And at that time, my elder daughter Abhiri was holding my hand. She was a small baby. And ma'am asked me, as she was entering the car, ma'am asked me, "End school la padikira ponna?" So I told her that we haven't still seen for her. She is only due next year for an admission. She said, "Number school vena pare." She just casually mentioned to me, and she got into the car. Definitely, it's because of her blessings and guidance that today both our daughters are studying in Padma SESHADRI. And what can I say about the way the school is nurturing the children? It is only because of ma'am's values and ma'am's guidance that the children are nurtured so well. Every year when the children come home and tell us about the theme of the anniversary, we always are wonderstruck as to how is it going to appear to us, how are we going to visualize it, because sometimes they'll say that we are going to be an air or we are going to be the storm. So we always wonder, and when we go and witness the anniversary, it is totally an amazing visual treat for all of us. I'm sure all parents will agree with me on this. And this is definitely because of Mrs. YGP ma'am's vision to try the impossible. You know, she gives us all the courage to try out something which is definitely impossible in a normal person's views, but you know, she will always make it possible. On this note, I would like to tell all of you that I'm so happy that my elder daughter Abhiri Sriram, a student of standard 8K, an aspiring dancer, is being encouraged so much by the school, and with the school support and help, we were able to conduct her Arangetram last year, and we will be presenting a short glimpse of her dance performance. Thank you so much. Namaste. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha.
Learning by osmosis. The presentation demonstrates Mrs. YGP's holistic educational methodologies that made the learning process natural and organic, where the students do not merely learn by rote, but absorb, progress, and evolve.
Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. The story of Mrs. YGP is an ideational play about challenge and response, about seeing, even divining. She defied, defined, and demonstrated many firsts in the field of education. The recent initiatives of CBSE have been a part of our PSBB's tradition. Being a pioneer and visionary, ma'am's holistic educational methodologies such as question paper framing, case study, peer teaching, question bank and word ending games have made tedious learning processes natural and organic, where students do not merely try to learn by rote but absorb, progress and evolve. That's what we call learning by osmosis.
Rack of books, stacks of chalk and blackboards all around. This isn't the case in our school, as learning is fun throughout. The wind sways and singers play their harmonious, pleasant tunes. The dancers swirl, twirl and shine, transporting us into the world of thrill. Dance, drama and theatre brimmed with synergizing content. Heritage, culture in metacognition is gifted to us as treasure hunt. She came, she conquered, for one of her many tools was theatre. Abhinaya, Padam, mime, shadow and role play, to name a few, to ignite our creative expression, fervor and flavor.
Today's English lab activity is visual parallelism. Observe the set of these 4 pictures. Connect them with a single thought process. Write down your observations in a few sentences. Use a dictionary to incorporate a new word in your write-up.
The first thing I visualize when I see this picture is a poor bird that is incarcerated in a tiny cage. The expectations that are placed on it are a huge burden, which makes it finally realize the true value of the freedom which it has never tasted before. The word that I have added to my vocabulary is incarcerated, which means to be imprisoned or confined. It is the past tense of the verb incarcerate.
That is true, Rashmika, but I feel that these pictures depict the complete opposite, which is the want for freedom. Freedom must be juxtaposed with responsibility. This is because freedom without responsibility leads to the ultimate misuse of power. Today, the new word that we have added to our vocabulary bank is juxtaposed. It means to put things side by side. I have used the word juxtapose in the sentence, freedom must be juxtaposed with responsibility.
Yes, I agree with you, Sarvajit. Freedom is indispensable in human life, and also let's dare to dream. The walls of fear, status, age and circumstances should not confine our dreams. The new word I have learned in my vocabulary is indispensable, which means absolutely necessary or essential.
Isn't it interesting to see how each of us perceive the same images in a variety of different lights? It helped us not only to think out of the box, but also enhance our analytical skills and enrich our vocabulary with a set of new words. It is indeed learning by osmosis.
Mrs. YGP is known for her faith in Sanatana Dharma. Her love for Divya Prabandham, especially Tirupavai, inspired me to dedicate the third Pasuram of Tirupavai, Ongi Ulagalanda, rendered by the Mambalam sisters to our dear Mrs. YGP, says Vishnu Lakshmi, PSB Nungambakam, Alumna, batch of 2020.
Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. I will be presenting a Pasuram from Shri Andal's Tirupavai as a humble tribute to Mrs. YGP. Mrs. YGP was a staunch follower of Shri Vaishnavism and was particularly fond of Andal and Tirupavai. Every year during the month of Margazhi, she organized the Upanyasam for Tirupavai and attended it every day without fail. Such was her devotion to Andal. We also used to render these verses in our school assembly, which is why I have decided to dedicate the third Pasuram of Tirupavai for Ma'am. Namaskar.
ஓங்கி உலகளந்த உத்தமன் பேர்படி ஓங்கி உலகளந்த உத்தமன் பேர்படி ஓங்கி உலகளந்த உத்தமன் பேர்படி நாங்கள் நம் பாவைக்கு சற்றி மூலை பற்றி பாகக்குடம் விதைக்கும் வள்ளல் பெரும் பசுக்கள் நீங்காத செல்வம் நிறைந்தேனுரம் பாவாய் பூங்குவளை போதில் பொறிவன் கண்படுப்ப தேங்காதே புக்கிருந்து சீர்த்த மூலை பற்றி பாகக்குடம் நிறைக்கும் வள்ளல் பெரும் பசுக்கள் நீங்காத செல்வம் நிறைந்தேனுரம் பாவாய் நீங்காத செல்வம் நிறைந்தேனுரம் பாவாய் நீங்காத செல்வம் நிறைந்தேனுரம் பாவாய்.
Memory is a way of holding on to the things you never want to lose. And school days are one such. Let's listen to our alumni as they share those priceless memories with YGP ma'am. Today we have Abhishek Ravichandran, Chartered Accountant, Commonwealth Games medalist in table tennis, PSBB Nungambakam batch of 2005, Shreya Devnath, musician, PSBB Nungambakam batch of 2008, Aprajit Raman, MBA student at SMT Berlin, PSBB Nungambakam batch of 2010, Ms. Shri Vidya, Director, Founder, Funiverse Arts Private Limited, PSB Kekanagar batch of 1998, Sri YG Harshavardhana, Creative Director at Brahma Cine Creations Private Limited, PSBB Kekanagar batch of 2002.
Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. I feel truly blessed to be part of this tribute video to the greatest teacher of my lifetime, late Dr. Mrs. YG ParthasarathY ma'am. To this day, if all of us take pride in saying that PSBB was our alma mater, I personally feel that we all owe it to Dr. Mrs. YGP ma'am and the brilliant team of teachers she had built over the decades. To be part of this rich legacy that is PSBB in itself is an honor in my view. Rewind to the 90s, I still remember how table tennis was given special importance and it was part of our culture. It was embedded in PSBB's culture. And I look back and I feel that I'm glad that I was there at the right time and at the right place. I can only say that I was fortunate enough to meet and interact with YGP ma'am on quite a few occasions. YGP ma'am's memory was phenomenal. So I went back to the school after a decade to meet her and she was quick to place and recognize me. I was surprised at that age she was able to quickly recollect and interact with me for quite a bit. And I consider myself very lucky and honored to see the likes of an inspiring leader like YGP ma'am. I am what I am today purely because of PSBB. And PSBB is what it is today because of a visionary and legend like Dr. Mrs. YGP ma'am. I really thank Team PSBB for having given me this opportunity and making me feel humbled again. Thank you.
Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. I'm Shreya Devnath, student of PSBB Nungambakam. I passed out in the year 2007-2008. Throughout my formative years, PSBB was always this unfailingly positive influence. And Mrs. YGP, she always had this larger-than-life persona, someone that we students respected and feared in equal measure. She was always so encouraging of my passion in music. She would always say, just do what you want to do and you will always do well. Even moments where I was a little bit conflicted, a little bit confused as to whether it should be academics or music or any other such confusions, she would actually never say pick this or that, but just whatever you do, put your 100% into it. If that's what you really want to do, you will end up doing well. So she was always this amazingly positive person who gave me nothing but strength and hope. One very special memory I have with YGP ma'am was in my 12th standard. I was running in the SPL election, school pupil leader, And as always, we had that one evening where all the candidates made our speeches. And of course, Mrs. YGP would listen to each of us and then ask her questions and find all the flaws in our plans for the school for the next 1 year, and ask us how exactly we intended to carry out all our promises. When it was my turn, I made my speech. YGP ma'am asked a question, and I actually contradicted her and answered, and for that one moment I was actually really scared, because of course we don't contradict or answer back to Mrs. YGP. But I remember the end of that function, she actually congratulated me and said, never be scared to speak out, especially if you have your facts in order. Always be bold, be brave, be like how you were today, and that's a very special quality. Don't give that up ever. So this is just one of the many beautiful memories I have with YGP ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am, for teaching me, for inspiring me for so many years that I was in school, and the very many years that I had the pleasure of interacting with you even after I passed out. I hope I do justice to at least a little portion of what you have shared with me. Thank you so much.
Sri Gurubhyo Namaha, and my namaskarams to all of you watching this video. I was asked to speak briefly about my memories with Dr. Mrs. YG Parthasarathy, or YGP ma'am as we all know her fondly, and it wasn't an easy task. Personally, I wasn't interested in academics in school, but I was interested in theatre, and when YGP ma'am saw that, she encouraged me immensely to follow what I was passionate about. We did have KK from the Masquerade theatre group coming and conducting classes every Saturday. But what was more important is the way she persuaded me into providing inputs to the World Theatre Day celebrations. One anecdote that always makes me chuckle is what happened in grade 11. I was in my math class, and this was around the time when we had to prepare something for the World Theatre Day celebration. And YGP ma'am had sent word for me through Ravi Anna, and Ravi Anna had come to class and said, Aprajit is being wanted downstairs in the office. And the math teacher was quite livid. She said, no, he can't come, he has to study. And then she asked Ravi Anna, who's calling him? And Ravi Anna said, Perima kupadraanga. And the math teacher's face froze. She couldn't clearly say no to YGP ma'am, and she had to let me go. And that was when I met YGP ma'am and got her inputs for the World Theatre Day celebration. It was a good 15-20 minute conversation, and she told me, okay, this is the play that we would like to do, this is how you can do it, these are all the ideas that you can implement. And then when we had to rehearse this play at some point, I had sprained my back, and it was clear that I was not feeling too comfortable while acting on the stage. She called me saying, Vada. She said, what's happening? And I said, no, ma'am, I have a problem in my back. I have a knot in my back. She said, okay, turn around and kneel down. So I turned around and I kneeled down. And here was Dr. Mrs. YG Parthasarathy, Padma Shri awardee, not really caring a damn about power hierarchies here. She helped me unknot my back, and she said, okay, are you better now? I said, yes, ma'am, much better. And then I went back on stage. After I graduated, and whenever I got the opportunity and I was fortunate enough to meet with YGP ma'am, I would always ask her, ma'am, nyabam irukka ma'am? And her immediate response would be the same every single time. Vada, eppadi irukka? Nalla irukkiya? And she would always remember the one thing that my mother had gone and told her. Your mother was very worried about you. I used to tell her, don't worry about him, don't worry about him. I hope she feels better today. The kind of belief that she had in me as a teacher was something that I would never ever forget.
Hello, I'm Sri Vidya from the batch of 1998. I have many wonderful memories with Mrs. YGP. And she's left an indelible impact on me as a woman leader and a woman educator. And I think my interactions with her have played a very important role in the kind of educator I have become and in the kind of vision for education that I've been able to evolve. So one of the memories that I would like to share is a poem that I had written for her 70th birthday. And I think it's a nice memory to bring back. So I'm just going to read out the poem. The Music of Wisdom. Hear the tinkle of the flowers amidst the leaves. Hear among the creepers the song of the leaf. Hear the tune of the sands as you walk, and the laugh of the little cloud in the rejoicing sky. Hear the whispers of life by the roaring sea. Hear the wind lifting the withered petals. As the storms blow, hear the ushered voice of the roots. In the burning fires near the softness of the flames. Here we call out to you the song of the youth behind these wrinkles and grey hair. The song is mellowed with experience, but its harmony engulfs the universe. There is in the song the silence of wisdom, but the tunes speed up with the laugh of the child. I hear the music that age cannot hide. Hear the music that is beauty. There are no words, no instruments, yet the music is on and the youth is full of life. I think what was wonderful for me about sharing my work with Mrs. YGP was that she had an incredible memory, and she after that recognized me always. And I think literally after 10 years when I met her at Bharat Kalachar, Mrs. YGP still recognized me, had a smile for me, wanted to know what I was doing and how my writing was going. And I think that warmth and that sort of a personal relationship that she had with pretty much every student and every teacher, that was one of the most rewarding things to learn from and to watch and to be part of. You felt special being there, and you felt special in knowing that she valued you, and she really cared for who you were as a person and what talents you had and what kind of world you were bringing and shaping. It seemed like she had the insight to see through that in you and encourage you for that. And I think that was also very much true of what PSBB offered as a platform to all of us. There was always space for who we were and what we wanted to become, and there was so much space for the arts. And I would really like to thank her for what she's brought into the world and for what she's created a space for in the world. Thank you.
Dr. Mrs. YGP, Rajalakshmi Parthasarathy, Rashmi, Rajamma, and Perima to us was a woman who wore many hats and under different monikers touched the lives of so many people around her through her schools and cultural organizations like Bharat Kalachar. She shaped us, her grandchildren, through our growing years with her ingenuity, wit, abundant creativity, infectious energy, and childlike enthusiasm. She inculcated a keen sense of the arts in us. She brought alive so many stories, larger than life stories of mythology and history through comics, books, dance, drama, theatre, television, films, you name it. The great thing about Perima was the fact that she was always encouraging and supportive. And she showed us by example that we can chase our dreams and create our own paths and forge our own careers. Luckily for the last 10 years, I got to spend a lot of quality time with her. I will never forget the many breakfasts at home in the morning with her, the innumerable drives, the long drives to the various beaches of Madras, the discussions and debates in the night in her bedroom with the constant chatter of television running in the background. In the last few years, she found my wife for me and also was able to hold her grandchild, her great-grandchild through us. To say that she's not with us today is a miss. For me, Perima is always eternal.
The highest education one can get is values. With values comes wisdom and knowledge. Dr. Mrs. YGP believed that knowledge is the golden ticket to success, and henceforth PSB runs on the fuel of the motto, knowledge is power. Stay tuned for another episode of Vidya Shakti tomorrow at 6 p.m. I'm Kausigan Periyasamy, signing off.
विद्याशक्ति